Welcome back to For Goodness Sake, where, as a former Mormon, I take a look at the good things that I take with me into my new, more secular worldview. My name is Tom, and today's topic is moral judgments. When are we justified in judging other people? When is it okay for us to pass moral judgment? To introduce this topic, I want to start off with a little exercise, so bear with me. I want you to think about a friend, not necessarily a super close friend, but somebody that you know and you know relatively well. And I want you to imagine that you learn some new, interesting information about this person. And I'm going to list a bunch of pieces of information that you might learn. And I want you to think about your reaction. How do you react to learning this about your friend? So, let's say that you learn that your friend has a new haircut. They've chosen something new and kind of wild and different. Now, let's say that you learn that your friend has decided to get a nose ring. Let's say you learn your friend has started drinking alcohol. Let's say you learn your friend has started having casual sex. Let's say your friend starts growing marijuana. And finally, let's say you learn that your friend has committed murder. Now, hopefully, with all of you, somewhere along the line, you started making stronger and stronger moral judgments about this friend and what they're doing. And hopefully also, you all started out with almost no judgment at all. With the nose ring and the haircut, you may have felt a slight twinge of annoyance, but you're not judging them. You're not thinking, oh, that's wrong. You're just thinking, okay, new interesting choice. And same with the alcohol and the casual sex. It just really depends on you and your circumstance. Maybe you are feeling a little bit of judgment about this, or maybe severe judgment, or on the other side you might be thinking, wow, good for them, that's fantastic. But the point I'm trying to illustrate is that there's a spectrum. The way I like to think about this is that there's personal morality on the one side, which is basically just personal choices that are really just up to us. After personal morality, there's group morality. This is the realm of churches, but not just churches. There can also be the Scouts have kind of a moral code that they share. You can think about gun clubs. I actually think gun clubs are a fantastic type of organization where you learn the moral responsibility of gun ownership and safe usage. So you have churches, organizations that are voluntary. You choose to be part of them, but they have a kind of moral code or behaviors that you learn as part of that group. And then on the other extreme, we have the law, legal morality. There are certain behaviors that we decide as a government, as a society, that are too dangerous or that impinge too much on other people, and we make them illegal. We say this is something that we just won't tolerate, and we use force involuntarily to stop people from doing certain things. So again, we have personal morality, group morality, and then legal morality. And I want to emphasize that this is a spectrum. It's a spectrum with gray areas that shift back and forth. So to illustrate that, I want to talk about alcohol, because alcohol is one that usually exists in the group morality region, that some groups are very much against any alcohol at all, other groups are very much in favor, other groups are somewhere in between, and everybody chooses which group they're going to subscribe to and how they're going to live their life. And in general, that's fine, except where it endangers other people. When it comes to drinking and driving, we put that behavior over into the legal morality. We say you've gone too far, we're going to make a law about drinking and driving. But just that one aspect of it. All the other aspects are up to you to decide which group morality you're going to subscribe to. And that works pretty well, right? Well, it wasn't always like that. If you lived here in the good old United States of America between 1920 and 1933, it was illegal to drink any alcohol at all. So this behavior, drinking alcohol, we as a society moved from the group morality region into the legal morality. And we said, no, it's too dangerous. We're going to make laws about this. And then in 1933, we moved it back. My only point about this is that every time a legislature picks up a piece of legislation, every time a governor signs a bill, we're moving behaviors back and forth between the legal morality realm and the group morality realm or the personal morality realm. And that's okay. We're figuring things out as a society. So the question becomes, what do I carry with me now as a former Mormon? Basically, the existence and the importance of this group morality. I think a lot of ex Mormons and other people who leave their religion reject the ideas of the group that they were in, and they basically fall back on just the two forms of morality, just personal morality and legal morality. And I think that's fine as far as that goes. But I do think that there's a critical and important role to be played by group morality in society. Going back to the gun example, if somebody hands me a gun, it's my responsibility to open the chamber and make sure that it's not loaded before I start to do anything with that gun. Because if I don't, it's just too dangerous to be handling around people. But I don't have a legal obligation to open the chamber and look at it. I have a moral obligation, and that's a moral obligation that is taught not by the legal moral realm, it's taught by the group morality realm in gun clubs and places where we practice gun safety. So I do think it's important that we find groups that share our values and that in a social setting we can reinforce the things that are really important to us, the behaviors that matter and the behaviors that help us to live a fulfilling life and that help us to be moral people. From a personal perspective, I've recently officially joined the Unitarian Universalist Church, which is a non-creedal church. They encourage a free and open and honest search for truth and meaning. And in that society, I've found a culture of encouraging one another to develop our own personal morality. So I hope we can all find the right social circles, whether it's a formal group or just informal groups of friends, that help us to be our best moral selves. And we can do it for goodness sake.